as a tax professional, having graduated from law school at Brooklyn Law School. I look back and I know then that there was no chance that I would be able to even dream of the journey that I would then take and ultimately be at the helm of this unbelievable accounting and professional services organization. But what I can tell you is when I started out in the profession, it clearly was a climb the ladder environment. Business, in fact, has been that way, following a defined path, one rung at a time. You joined a company, you got a desk, you got a pension, you got a bigger desk, maybe a bigger pension, maybe an office, and you carried on like this for 30 some odd years. But I am confident that over the course of my 38 years with Deloitte, 30 years as a partner with this firm, that it isn't about climbing ladders. It's rather about building bridges. It's about the past, the people you work with, and paying it forward, all metaphorically through bridges. Now, we do climb ladders. You do get to be in my position by going through multiple roles and promotions and opportunities that you perform hopefully well at. But frankly, it's building the bridges through the power of connection that makes you as successful as you can possibly be. And so for me, I'd like to just talk with you this morning about those bridges, 3 of them. The bridges that were built for us, the bridges that we build with others, and then the bridges that we build for others, my concept of paying it forward. And I believe in today's social media-driven environment and a world that is heavily dependent on collaboration, that the concept is much more relevant today than it has ever been. And so let me talk about these bridges. The first bridge is the one that brought me and many of you to where you are today. And this is about our roots. This is about the experiences that ultimately over the course of your lifetime shape your identity. Who you become and what you achieve, in my view, always traces back to the bridge of belief from your parents and other significant people in your lifetime. It's the start they gave us in life, the sacrifices they made for us, and the opportunities that they made possible for us to leverage where we were and move forward. So for me, in my life, while there are many that can fall into this category, I single out my parents and my wife's parents. Let me just start with my parents. My parents, as I mentioned earlier, worked several jobs to make ends meet. We didn't own a car, never went on a vacation, and they themselves had no higher education, but yet they pushed me hard in order to succeed in ways that they never dreamt that they themselves could or would. I remember my dad would always be there in between jobs, checking out my grades on my exams in school. And I'd come home and I'd say I got a 99 in math. I was a really good math student. And rather than say to me, you know, Barry, that's terrific, he said, where's the extra point? And it was unbelievably motivating. I'm 61 years old, and I remember that as vividly as he communicated it to me. And I just know that the sacrifices that my mom and dad made in order to give me the opportunity to really move into a higher education environment, to really drive commitment to learning and to getting on a career path that neither of them had, was incredibly important to my foundation. My in-laws were Holocaust survivors, and they migrated to the U.S. after the war, and they came essentially with nothing and made a life for themselves in Brooklyn as well. And they believed that great things were possible if you were prepared to work hard and commit yourself to what you want to accomplish. They helped me believe in myself, and they gave me the encouragement to seek out accounting as my major. I started out as a math major, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with it after being convinced to go to college by peers and friends and others that encouraged me to go. My in-laws said to me, "Barry, try for accounting. You can really do well. You can work hard at it. I'm very confident that you can make a great career out of it." And I did, and I am forever grateful of the backing that they gave to me and the encouragement to really believe in myself, which is obviously, in my view, critical in order to move your career forward. I mentioned education was a bridge for me to a different life, and I tell this story because it's almost unbelievable given the success that I've been fortunate to enjoy over my career. But in high school, my high school guidance counselor told me, "Do not bother going to college. I would not make it." Well, so much for that forecast. So, first bridge, remember the past. Remember your roots. Know where you've come from. It will have an impact on everything you do, on every decision you make. The second bridge is the one we build together with others. Our greatest assets are no longer the things that we produce, but it really is the connections we make, the bridges we build. In fact, the spotlight shines on the we, not the me. Today, more so than ever before, no one can go it alone. It's all about partnership. It's about alliances. It's about collaboration. And that's whether building a business or building a career. Seth Godin calls it the connection economy. They've always been important, connections. But today, because social media allows us to collaborate with people we might never meet in person, it is extremely more important today. It is deeply understood by our the millennials, young professionals, that live to tweet every day or crowdfund their business ideas on Kickstarter. We are in that environment, and this second bridge needs to be the one that you pay a lot of time and attention to, building things together with others. If you're not careful, you could take for granted the value of these connections. And I would suggest to you that the emphasis on networking, it's not a dirty word. Some people are very uncomfortable and feel awkward about the conversations and exchange of business cards and having that kind of interaction with people. But forming these sorts of connections really isn't an awkward add to our lives. It should be a core part of it. You should work hard to nurture these relationships and connections and turn them into mutually valuable, sustainable, long-term relationships. Deloitte, I'm just most familiar with, we contribute pro bono services at a significant rate to not-for-profit organizations so that together we can build something that individually neither one of us could do, either us by giving cash to them or they by themselves. We partner with organizations like Atrocity Watch and Oxfam and College Summit. The list is endless to improve what they do and how they perform in order to increase social impact. Together we can do it. Individually, it is really not likely. So the second bridge, the key element of career success, personal success, is this building bridges with others. The third and final bridge is the one we build for those who will follow us. This is paying it forward, as I said before. When you're climbing the ladder, career ladder, we don't always pay enough attention to those coming up behind us. We're always looking up. Some think for them to win, others have to lose. But frankly, this idea that we have to compete with one another like that is destructive for your own success, not just for the success of the one that you're talking about. I believe that the reason that this bridge is so critical is that success is inextricably linked to those around us. It isn't about scarcity, it's about abundance. And we need to pay it forward in order to create the sustainability of the success. Now, how do you do that? And what are the things that I'm talking about that make you more successful, that drive your career by paying it forward? Well, first, to me, it's about mentoring. Mentoring professionals and leaders at all levels. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are. If you could help someone else succeed, it's a really big deal for you, not just for them. Championing diversity of background and thought, being a role model to others. I mentioned that I have 2 children. Each of them are totally different from the other. One founded a food delivery service called Blue Apron. I hope there are people in the room that use Blue Apron. My other one is an MIT Media Lab, innovative digital technology developer. And I know that I have tried real hard over my lifetime to be a role model for them, to make sure that I am, when I do what I do, when I say what I say, that I am thinking about how they perceive me and how they will learn from me. I think it's also important when you're paying it forward, not just with individuals and helping them succeed, but organizations and the power of being able to help organizations succeed and others within those organizations succeed. So for me, examples include helping my alma mater in furnishing scholarships to minorities that are deserving of education but have difficulty paying for it, including personal mentoring of them once they get their scholarship. At College Summit, I mentioned it's my favorite organization, my favorite nonprofit that I work with, that helps young professionals get access to college education that individually they could not do, that they didn't have the culture within their family to drive it, and we work real hard to get college-going cultures into the high schools of America. And at United Way, for example, where I was the board chair and first met Ito, can go on. There are so many ways that you as individuals can pay back and can give back to those that work around you and with you and pay it forward and drive this last bridge. English poet John Donne famously wrote, "No man is an island." He might have written this nearly 400 years ago, but it's a sentiment that even is more relevant today. The career ladder is an outdated model that no longer reflects today's business environment. If you want to succeed in your career, you cannot do it and you should not do it alone. Instead, you should focus on building connections, one bridge at a time, building relationships, nurturing them, creating mutual valuable experiences. I am confident that if you do, it'll take you to places that are exciting, that are challenging, and on a journey whereby you will create opportunities you would never have anticipated. So, whatever stage you are in your career, the time to start building bridges is now.